at. And so we're actually sitting in some very low liquidity zones right now. Like we're talking like extremely low. Like a lot has been pulled. So maybe I can pull that up quick.
Oh wow, yeah, you're
That's
right, dude.
that's what's causing a lot of the volatility. But this is where, if some big player comes in and just starts market buying like crazy, like the price could go up. Or if some guy wants to come in and dump away, then reaccumulation bands are between 10 and
Yeah.
8.5
We
to
had
10.
because we had some good support. Like I'm just looking through my old stuff that I was posting for the liquidity charts. We had some good sell side on the 1% pair. It's gone now. That's all gone. Let's see what is the die pool still.
1 second, I'm pulling up the 1% USDC pool, and I'm pulling up the ETH pool. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, so there's nothing in front of price right now on 1% ETH pool.
Yep.
And then, yeah, nothing in front of here either. So, yeah, I mean, we could really see, the prices in no man's land effectively. You can see here on the 3.3% pool, it's also sitting in like, this is like $8,000 per bar. So, and I was seeing today when the volume was coming in, these were like $10,000 buys and stuff coming in. So they alone, if there's 20 guys with $10,000, you get the price to 14 cents.
Yep.
I mean, you can see here that we're basically in free fall, but it's to the upside. So you're in anti-gravity right now because there's so much demand. If I pull up these pools, look at how oh my gosh, against Ethereum right now, HEX is dominating. It's about to hit the 3618. And the way that you get this is you go the bottom, wick bottom, to the second double bottom. And then here's your peak. These 3 data points gives you this entire trajectory. And so we're actually about to hit we have tapped the 3618 or just short of it. So, I mean, this would be like that's a technical level right here. The only other coin that I've seen hit the 3618 recently was actually Texan token, believe it or not.
Yeah. Speak about a token that's had some success lately. Congratulations to Rags and Hexray and Heartbeat for the mega pump that they had on Texan.
Yeah, dude, I can pull that up in a second too. But check this out: 1,568 buys to 756 sales, $10.5 million in volume in the last 24 hours. To the upside, 9.4 million to the downside. Insane. Boom. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Hex is destroying Ethereum. Hex is almost against Bitcoin. Remember, here's my target: 580 satoshis. Let's get there, guys. We could do this. And actually, it's funny because this actually goes all wrong line. This is basically your PulseX SAC levels, roughly, right? So that's pretty cool. Like even though the price is only at 12 cents in Bitcoin terms, because Bitcoin's down off 60K, you're actually closer to this 580 sats is. Remember when I was saying this earlier in the stream, we were at 380 sats. We're already at 434 sats. And now Hex price is at 12 cents on the USDC pair. So because of the disparity of Bitcoin dropping, meanwhile Hex is rocketing, it's actually gaining faster in percent terms. See here, Bitcoin's not really, it's just paused. Bitcoin's kind of stalling out here. What's Ethereum doing? Kind of paused as well. So yeah, Hex is looking very, very good against Bitcoin and Ethereum. Look at against Ethereum. You guys want to see something bananas? Like this is what Ethereum did to Bitcoin in yellow over 2.5 years through the bull market, and Hex has done this to Ethereum in 70 days. I think it was 60 days. Yeah, so we've already exceeded. We're about to exceed what Ethereum did to Bitcoin in multiple years, and that's a function of it being so cheap in percent and actual sense, right?
Yeah, and probably the liquidity too. Lower liquidity.
Yep, and it's all on-chain traded, so you can't fudge the numbers.
Yep. Be back at 12, baby.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. So against Ethereum, you're almost at the PulseX SAC phase levels in terms of Ethereum. Here's your line. If I put the line down 1 sec. So this is PulseChain sacrifice. This is PulseX sacrifice. The dollar denominated terms, this was 21 cents. This was 36 cents. but yet it was the same level against Ethereum because they move, kind of differently, right? The cross pairs run differently, right? This is true ratio trading. This is what that looks like. So we're almost at those levels where, the sacrifice phases. And that makes sense, right? Because we have testnet. So that'd be a key level to watch here moving forward.
Yep. I like the slope of that green line, man. I like the slope of that line.
This one, you mean straight up?
It's 90 degrees, basically.
Yeah. Let's see if I pull up the HEX USDC here. We'll pull up the dip catcher algorithm. Shout out to our boy dip catcher.
Shout out to dip catcher.
If you're watching right now, brother, we're going to pull up and use your tool. So this is a tool you can get at dipcatcher.pro. And it's kind of showing you how violent this move is right now. You're squeezing up into the bands. So you're above the dip catcher's highest red band right now. So this is an anomalous time, right? And so the only time you get clean bounces off the orange and yellow bands and you go higher is in bull markets. So if I go back in time, you can see here that HEX bounced off the orange and yellow bands here, 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 and then it was a bull market, and we started to squeeze the red line up, and we actually held the red line, came back to test orange, held the red line, test orange, till we got to our top. So modern time here, we're finally doing, we've kicked off the bull run officially, guys. So something to think about that way.
Wow, that's big, man.
Let's pull up the liquidity pool. So this is what we're looking like for liquidity. There's nothing between where we're at now and 17 cents. So it's going to take just very little money to get the price to go from 12 cents to 17 cents or back down. Maybe somebody wants to jump in here and dump all their coin, and then you get protected at 10 cents. This is where most of the range is right now. This is probably from this morning because this has to be manually updated. I just forgot. So, but yeah, we have to actually look at this again. We'll refresh again and see kind of where we're at.
Yeah, so that one person putting it at 50 cents just breaks the whole chart.
Oh yeah, some wise ass put freaking 6 million HEX out here at 50 cents. So just to shrink down the whole chart. It's like, okay, cool. That's real cool, bro. So yeah, if you look at it like on a small, this is what we're seeing. This is 10.5 cents on this edge of the band. So if some seller wants to come in and liquidate, you're going to probably catch support in here between 9 and 10.5 cents, just like we did this morning. And it goes down as far as 8.5 cents. But if you zoom out and you look at the thick of it, looks like it doesn't look as so severe, right? Because you have bands, a lot of liquidity out here at 19 to basically 17 to 20 cents. So kind of some cross correlations. Yeah, there's definitely somebody coming in and trying to offload here at this 12-cent region. So if you're bullish on HEX and you're a big buyer, this might be well-needed liquidity. These guys that are liquidating, then you just come in and just scoop their coins up on the dip.
And hey, they're liquidating now. They can't liquidate on Pulse.
Correct.
Well, what is the case for selling HEX at 12 cents, for example? You said you expect it. Is that just because you anticipate that to happen and to go back down a little bit, take a breather, and then buy it back up to the price? Is that like what the traders are thinking?
Are you talking about before Pulse goes live or after?
I mean, just the run up we're having right now, whatever it may get sold back down to, or maybe it just doesn't get sold back down to. I guess it's an assumption.
Right, because look at how dominant, look at how much this is called a bullish engulfing candle on the 4-hour. And I don't know what time this closes. It's probably just started, this candle. Let's see, a 2-hour. Okay, so so basically if this candle closes above, let's say 10.9 cents, roughly 10.9 cents, it'll be a bullish engulfing candle, and you could expect this. It's a continuation candle. You saw one of these here too, where you'll start to get this kind of action where people come in and accumulate the dip, kind of, where it'll be like smaller and choppier, something like this, because it's going to be really volatile now that all that liquidity got pulled. But yeah, I mean, this is like a unique moment where like people don't know when the full snapshot's going to occur. So like it's basically a mad dash to scoop coins as much as you can. Remember, there's probably still people that thought we could still go to 1 cent. There's definitely some bearish bias still out there that has never left. A lot of us flipped bullish after this move here when we consolidated and we had the God whale stake end on the 14th. That was actually right Godwill stake ended on the 14th here, and we got the sideways accumulation, and then we had a wick all the way to 8.5 cents, and that kind of marked for me the beginning of something big. And I know there was an announcement here that testnet V3 would come shortly, and so now it's kind of one of those things where it's a mad dash to pick up coins. This is a technical bull flag. This was a technical bull flag, and then you had like the CBDC thing, and then HEX became a safe haven. And then we had these kinds of outsized returns in terms of candles. Like this candle action here, this is like good support now, right? So, you're basically competing. Now it's a fight against time, and this thing it's going parabolic, right? And this is kind of why I said early on in the year that, don't get left behind. And I did the blog post on the website. I was showing that, if you really did get the kind of move that I was thinking, then you'd easily be able to go to 20 cents at least. So here, if we look at the, let's see, the weekly HEX chart, you're playing inside of this band. So if, as far as downside targets, like if you were going to expect some big group of, let's say like 20 guys wanted to jump in here and sell before the fork, together they might be able to get price back down to like 8.5 cents before you'd start like a reaccumulation, a test, and then a successful bounce higher. And there's no liquidity up here really. The next bands of liquidity are at 17 to 24 cents roughly.
Speaking of liquidity, I just wanted to, I guess this is relevant too. Silver says big wallet should add LP to exit now.
Yeah, that's a really good. So if you are a big wallet and you want to sell back into USDC or ETH, feel free to go into the 1% pairs and just put some liquidity out in front of price, because it can easily go up with this demand. You can see this demand coming in, 1,600 buys to 700 sells. There's demand there, you guys. Just look at the volume bars here on the bottom. Like they've only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger since the bottom on this daily chart. So that's real demand coming in. So you can sell the price chart up by going to Uniswap and going to the DApp. Uniswap.org, is it? Or I forget.
Yeah.
And then click launch app. And then all you got to really do, and if you really do want a deep dive analysis and like understanding of strategizing around this type of stuff, just feel free to go in here and check this stuff out, right? Because it's going to be able to. We'll do that in our market making course, where we'll show you guys how to set liquidity and all that stuff. So that is coming probably next weekend. We were actually supposed to be working on that tonight after we got off this call, but here we are.
But V3 launched and all plans have come to a halt.
Yeah. So.
Oh man.
So yeah.
No, I just want to say whenever we get done with HEX too, a lot of people have been talking about weight in the chat, so
sure,
maybe we can do that one next. But just whatever you want to do on this one.
Yeah, I mean the most bullish case I see here is that any kind of attempt to sell the price down here, it just pauses price at that 12 to 14 cent range before some big account. Like if you guys don't set liquidity in here, out inside of here or out here, the price will just keep going up because the demand is there. And so maybe that's what the goal is to just let the price move up. Because enough little guys in a row does move price up. Big guys might not accumulate yet. They might wait for the sell-off, but we'll have to see how that all plays out. But yeah, so let's check out weight. It's a good point, because I bet you it's going up now. Oh, it's only 5 buys to 2 sells on this pair, but it's starting to round out. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. You can claim your weight soon, because once PulseChain launches, you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, so you want to claim it before it launches, right? And then once it launches, you can swap it for weight V2 on PulseChain. I believe that's
and then you get the midnight bonus, whatever it is, when it launches too. But if you don't claim it, then you lose out.
So this is the range where I would say it's headed right now, and it's on the back of imminent mainnet, right? But if you could get some kind of demand here, get up above, retest, and go, then this is what I'm kind of seeing as some sort of like a triangle setup, potentially. And then these are your base resistance levels on the way up. I don't imagine that people who claim this probably just dumped it right away. That's what the chart looks like, right? This actually looks like a giant falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern. It's funny. I didn't really think about this as testnet V3 came out, that this would start to see upside, but that makes sense now.
Yep. Especially because V3 is your notification of mainnet, not like, oh, you have 3 days or whatever.
Yeah. There's only $20,000 of liquidity and only $5,000 of USDC in there, so very small, very, very small.
Looks like Silver the Antidote is here. Welcome.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, gents. So, yeah, I'll just be real quick, okay? A lot of stuff obviously happening right now. A lot of people very excited with what's going on, so that's cool. We do have a a bit of an issue going on there with the liquidity. Obviously, a bit of a surprise with a lot of it being pulled out. What we're facing now is that there are actually quite a few wallets that are interested to sell, but generally they seem to only do it during bands of liquidity. So I guess this would probably be like a public service announcement that instead of doing market sells, it's going to be very critical now that these people that generally would do that action, if they do not know how to actually support price and do LP positions, this is now a very critical time because the price literally could potentially be stuck at 12 cents. And there's like that equilibrium phase where everybody's waiting for someone to do something. And this is really where your action has to happen. So for those that are wanting to take some profit, you definitely need to start adding LP positions. And large wallets, you can ladder it. You know, like you actually just said a moment ago, there's someone all the way out there at 50 cents. There's no real definition as to what price is, because this in a market like this, it's now price discovery. And it is a case of what is available is whatever the price is. That is completely up to the option of whoever provides. So the more volume that is put up for offer, that is generally where the price is going to go. So it's very, very critical that people actually take this seriously if you're wanting to remove anything out of the system. You can place it from 12 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. The larger, the better, because this also helps to facilitate option for people bringing in tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. If there is an option for hundreds of thousands of dollars of buy with small slippage, that's going to disincentivize price action. So it comes down to the guys out there who have paper value of millions. There's actually no value to any of it until there's actually liquidity in position. Hope that kind of makes sense.
Yep.
Yes. So we need you guys that are selling, just go to uniswap.org, launch the app, and just set liquidity. Like, seriously.
Yep. It's in your benefit to do that right now.
A couple button presses. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're doing liquidity in ranges, it's kind of like effectively like limit orders, right?
Look, price is continually going up.
Yeah,
exactly. If you just set some HEX out in front of price and people buy it through your wall, and then you pull your liquidity, you made fees for selling your coins at a higher price. So you made money selling your coins at a higher price. It's like,
and that's it. And when you do it, because potentially it could be lowish LP positions, as in maybe there's only 100,000 HEX per bar, or maybe 200, 300, depends how much people are willing to put down. But it becomes a lot more choppy. And chop is very good for LP. And when you're in, when there's nothing available, if you're in 0.3%, you're making 0.3% on every single transaction, buy, sell. If you're doing 1% pools, you're making 1% on every transaction, buy, sell. So if you were to have 100 buys and sells of the same value, you doubled your bag. That's how it works. And because there's no one else offering it, this is very, very lucrative to those that wish to start setting some positions. I'll leave it at that, guys. Thanks a lot for having me on. Yeah. Cheers, RH.
Thanks, bud.
Hey, appreciate it.
All right.
see you later, Silver. Peace.
Very interesting question on liquidity here. If you're providing liquidity, you miss out on your HEX copy, don't you? Who wants to take that one?
Kind of. You need to have access to the Uniswap contracts on the PulseChain end of things. So someone needs to build those for you to be able to exit your position. And then also you have the AMM bot, which will be harvesting liquidity, but those are only on Pulse pairs. So the main pair that you would be drained against is if you did HEX versus ETH. Or would the wrapped ETH be drained? Because it would be like, it wouldn't be, it's only Ethereum that's changing to Pulse, not wrapped ETH that's changing to Pulse, right? Do you guys know?
Yeah.
So say that again. Sorry, I was typing in the chat.
Go ahead, Exus.
So Ethereum gets changed to Pulse and diluted by like 10,000x,
Correct.
but wrapped ETH doesn't get diluted. It's just like P weight.
Correct.
So the HEX wrapped ETH pool won't get run through the AMM bot because it's not ETH, right?
Interesting.
Unless
don't
they
think-
drain
I think-
they drain it with the wrapped ETH that they get the copy on.
Right. I think it's treated as ETH.
Yeah, that's the question in the code. Will it be ETH and wrapped ETH? And are there any other kind of wrapped deals that may be affected by that too?
Yeah, I would say to be safe, if you want your copies, don't provide liquidity. Just don't have that question. Just have it in your wallet, set aside on your hardware wallet. Don't touch it. And then when the fork happens, then you can provide liquidity in the places you want to provide liquidity at. Unless you're looking to exit and just want to forget about your copy completely. But yeah, I'd say to be safe, don't provide liquidity if you want your copy.
Yeah.
Good question.
Mhm.
Do we have anything more to say on HEX, or did we want to go to the next chart?
Yeah. I mean, what other charts are we looking at?
So let's see.
This one's just going parabolic. That's why I got it up.
We like parabolic charts. We had, what about Hedron? Do you want to look at Hedron? Maybe DCA if you did any look at that
the
before?
DCA token.
Yeah, the low float perhaps.
Yeah, that one's funny. That one actually did some pretty crazy stuff. So there's no money in here, right? There's nothing in the pool. And if you want to buy a DCA token, go to pro.dipcatcher.com or no, dipcatcher.pro, and then you can get this. This is on discount right now. I think it goes for like roughly $85 on an ETH, but here you can get it for 74 if you get it off this market. So yeah, it's in this. There's only been very few transactions actually in the history of it, but this is so you can see that there's just not that many transactions going back to the 13th of March. But yeah, that's there was at one point when there was a premium on this side, and then that got arbitraged back down. So I think it's roughly 0.45 ETH per DCA right now. So what is that in USD terms? I'm not sure.
It's got to be $500 or so.
I think it's like,
With you.
let's see here. I think it's at 0.045. Sorry.
Yeah, 045 is the current rate, I believe.
Yeah, so $79. So it's like what? It's like $4 off right now if you get it from the market.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I added it 0, I think.
My bad.
I was thinking about the name claim for party token. I was doing 0.45 instead of 0.045. Okay.
Yeah. Hey guys, I do need to hop off really quickly. Max, I had a great time, man. Thanks for the invite. Axis, always a pleasure to be live with you, man.
Yes, sir.
Of course, man.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Epic stream. Appreciate
Peace
it,
out,
man.
guys.
Thanks.
See you, brother.
And then there was 2.
That's right. As it was intended originally.
The original idea. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so Texan looking, it's actually consolidating or holding its levels quite well. I was surprised to see that. But yeah, earlier, remember I was saying that against HEX against ETH, it had hit that 3618. This is a fib channel instead of just flat fibs, but you can see here that this was a clean match, or over exceeded way big time, the 3618. That's why I was saying that earlier. And let's see, here we actually beat it now on the HEX WETH chart. We're actually exceeding the 3618 now here and heading higher. So next target would be the 4.236. In terms of percent wise, looking at 12% higher against ETH. HEX now is trading at 12.43 cents. It's up 28% in the last 4 hours on the wick and about 25% on the body. Against, look at, we're just destroying the dip catcher algo. It's just getting wrecked right now by HEX. It's just ripping right through. So pretty incredible. And then against, let's see how we're looking against Bitcoin. Okay, so we're not far off of that target, guys. I started at the beginning of the stream. Just got a little more to go, just another 28%, and we can hit that pennant target. I'll zoom into the daily so it makes more sense. And I'll get rid of some of this extra stuff so you can see it. So yeah, not too much left to go.
Amazing. Did you want to touch on Hedron?
Sure. Looks like Hedron's still going up.
Hedron ecosystem, if you got Icosa, Hedron, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like Hedron's still moving up. Again, there's no liquidity in front of price, I think. Let's see here. Hedron USDC, I'll refresh. Yeah, so it's about to fall off a cliff. This can also move rapidly to the upside. These are very small amounts of Hedron locked, less than 1 billion. And then Icosa as well. Yeah, so there's a bar in front of Icosa. Looks like somebody could come in and accumulate a decent amount of Icosa here and get price nudged up to the edge before it starts to go into low liquidity. If I pull up the oh yeah, that's good. The Hedron, that's looking good. Icosa is just floating upward. Remember that there's a big band here where somebody could actually do a high volume buy or a buy here, and then push price to the edge of the band, and then it can just float higher. So it's a chance to accumulate. You want to see that because if you know why would a whale incur a ton of slippage, right? Why would somebody put in $100,000 and only get $50,000 worth of something, right?
Right.
So in this case, they could get the big order in and then put the price up a little bit, not incur so much slippage, and then let the market take it from there. Looks like HEX is about to break the top of this channel here. It's at 12.5 cents. Liquidity. See what liquidity's doing. Yeah, we still have nothing for liquidity, guys. We need somebody to step up to the plate here and put somebody sell their shit.
Step it up, guys. Step it up.
Come on, we don't want that. We don't want to see 50-cent HEX. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, would that not be the biggest signal to the market ever? If you ever heard of HEX and you listen to all the influencers told you not to buy it, and it hit 50 cents again in a well, I say bear market. I don't know what we're in right now, but
we're in a bull market. It's official. Yeah. Yeah. The way that you tell is if you pull down this. Let's see here. Do it. Couple things. We'll do a fib retracement. So the first level here is the 786. That's sitting at roughly 16 cents. I think that's a pretty reasonable level to go hit from these levels. Let's also kind of find some sort of confluence right here on this band of our channel that was resistance here, 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 here. So it's been resistance for us before. The question is, will it be resistance this time? You know, there's no liquidity sitting here, so it can really go straight up. Unless you have somebody who wants to dump like $8 million, like that might be enough to just, you know, flag us down. And then, you know, I'm willing to bet that somebody's going to accumulate around that 9 to 10 cent range. And then there, again, you'll have no liquidity, and then it'll go up even faster the second time. So yeah, this is your kind of point of control is around 16 cents. That was where the breakdown occurred at the failed launch of Pulse back here. In May of last year. So we're a little ahead of schedule here. And yeah, I think you guys kind of know how I feel about that. What else was I going to say about that in terms of analysis? Ooh, looks like somebody's taking the lead on Icosa.
Had a community question here that I want to pose to somebody asked, I'm curious about the math behind HEX and how can move in exponentials if OA does decide to bond liquidity between chains. Metcalfe's law, dropping tiers, as he says, increased adoption can move price more.
Yeah, because he's just if the OA were to combine wrapped HEX from ETH over to PulseChain and wrap it and match it up against HEX on that chain, all that means is that HEX and HEX are tied together so tightly that if HEX goes up on one chain, it's going to go up on the other chain, and if it goes down on one chain, it's going down. So they'll just move together, and it could be at any ratio. So it could be like 1 EHEX to 0.1 PHEX, or it could be 1 to a half, or the ratio will hold, but then they'll move up and down together within that framing or that ratio. I hope that kind of makes sense. So, and then how do they move together? Well, they'll just if somebody starts massively market buying EHEX, PulseChain HEX is going to go up too with it, because they're going to be so tightly bonded together. And that's kind of what I mean about HEX being the next Bitcoin, or the true DeFi store of value token or asset, is that it's going to be so tightly binded between the two chains. It's going to be the one value transfer mechanism between a fully vertically integrated version of Ethereum that's faster blocks, bigger blocks, better functionality, and then back to Ethereum, which is where all the economic energy is.
Take one more question from the chat too. I tried to answer it in chat, but he wants to know what you think too. Connor says 25K of HEX or 15K of PulseX sacrifice. I guess which one would you rather? Which puts you in a better position in your mind?
Depends on the time frame, and I think long term, HEX all the way. Short term, HEX. After mainnet, there's going to be a gap there where you might be able to see a return on PulseX. I just don't know when, right? Because that ratio trading happens fast. You saw on the testnet there how HEX started out at 13.87 per pulse, and then it was, by the time we closed out and within 30 minutes, it was down to 7 point something. So you would have lost 50% of your value if you would have moved into PulseChain, but if you would have went into HEX, you would have doubled your pulse bag if you flip back at that point. So it's like the for sure bet is HEX, right? That the whole reason why that stuff got built was for HEX. I know it sounds like a shill answer, but that's just the way I see it.
It all starts and ends with HEX. I mean, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Everyone needs to remember that. If you're new to PulseChain, new to HEX, Richard's favorite project is HEX. I highly speculate.
Yeah. Like he wants to beat Bitcoin, and right now HEX is up 397% against Bitcoin. Like coins don't do that to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the Mac Daddy. So like, this is the way, right? This is the way.